little bit farther because I do agree that Tally's the primary carry for Legacy, and I think this will actually expose Choo Choo's a little bit. So we have this big reputation for Choo Choo's, like one of the best mid laners in the OPL, and I definitely think he's a very strong mid laner, but I think he's fallen off a little bit, and he's not quite living up to that same caliber that we really have the expectations, and we know that he can reach. And with Tally gone, all of the responsibility to be that primary carry does fall on his shoulders. And I think we're really going to see how far Choo Choo's is going to push himself this series.
Of course, he is matching up across from Luch, who is a good mid laner in his own right. I do want to touch back on Minky just briefly, because is it a patch too late? I mean, we're seeing Rek'Sai come back and, the likes of Fiora becoming a top lane threat again. That seems to be something that James or Tally would have loved to be. He's going to be 3 weeks out, actually does have an injury at the moment. Minky much more of the tank player, so a similar footing to Pac-Man, but maybe will force Carbon onto a more carry-style jungler.
Yeah, I don't think that would be too much of an issue for Carbon. I know he's been playing a lot of Nidalee, Kindred, and Graves lately. I think they should be okay with getting Minky to default to something like Maokai and hopefully neutralizing top lane.
All right, we'll see if they're able to do that across the other side of the rift. We do have to also touch in on Abyss's roster change because that is going to be Squidgy out, Raid in. He's played a couple of games already for us. What did you make of his performance?
I think Raid is a very aggressive, playmaking-oriented AD carry, and so we should look for him to be forward in his lane and see if Carbon can actually punish that in any sort of counter gank.
All right, cool. And did you have anything that you took away from Raid? Is this an AD carry you think that can go toe-to-toe with the Legacy bot lane?
I know he's been playing a lot with Ejim and solo queue lately, and he seems to be mechanically pretty decent, so let's see what he can show us here.
All right, cool. But if there are two players to watch on Summoner's Rift, it has to be King versus Seb. I mean, you mentioned Choo Choo's as the primary carry. I'm going to throw King out there because this is someone that came across from Direwolves, was a hugely aggressive AD carry, and if anything, maybe over-aggressive. Now he's got Kuden to keep him in check, whereas Seb on the side of Abyss, I always thought when he was on Infernum, was one of the underrated performers on that team. How do you make this? Is Seb going to be enough of an impact to be able to get into that bottom lane, help T-Gun and out and try and keep King down?
Well, yeah, I think that is definitely the key to this matchup. It's going to be the mid jungle. I think I value Luch as the best team fighter on Abyss. So if Seb and Luch can get going and control around mid, then Carbon won't be able to snowball, and they'll have a chance in the mid to late game.
No, sure. I actually really agree with that thought mentality. I think it's more about like the mid lane as opposed to the AD carry. So what that means for King is if Abyss's bot lane can just neutralize and make sure that they don't get snowballed ahead, let the jungle and mid duo win.
Yeah.
All right, cool. We'll see if that is able to come into fruition. I guess we've had a little bit more time to have a look in at Kuden as well. He spent a week on Legacy. I mean, Minky played first week, Kuden played second week. What did you think about Kuden as opposed to Regret? Did you think that their duo lane was as good? Because Regret and King were kind of touted as like the aggressive duo lane, whereas I don't think Kuden kind of has that spark to him. He is a little bit more reserved down there.
Yeah, maybe I guess with the reason behind the swap, maybe they were looking for a bit more control. I know Regret was a big caller for them, but I know they have a lot of heavy communicators already, so maybe they didn't need that anymore. Maybe they wanted a bit more control coming out of bot lane, so maybe it's a good transition for them.
I think it also helps that the meta is shifting to more range supports anyway, and they're not the primary facilitator, so it's not a lot of Braum and Alistairs and Trundle supports running around and starting fights. It's a lot of Sorakas and Karmas, and I mean, Bard's still going to be a big facilitator for starting things, but I think it fits a bit more into Kuden as the initiation is really translated into the top lane in particular.
And I guess talking about calling, you do have to mention T-Gun over there on Abyss lineup. We had him on the desk last week. He's very confident in his young team coming forward. What have you made of the resurgence of T-Gun, I guess? He had a split off and now coming back into the OPL. Looks quite refreshed.
Yeah, T-Gun's looking pretty good. I guess he was someone that Abyss needed. Just watching them in the OCS a bit, they kind of looked a little bit lost. And I know he's a very... Maybe sometimes he's not correct with these calls, but like his team will follow him.
Yep.
Yeah, these team will follow him no matter what. So I think that's definitely an important thing as a shot caller.
Yeah, it's as long as you make a call, even if it's the wrong one, as long as all 5 players are doing the same thing, you'll have success.
All right, cool. So we've gone through the teams. I think we've broken this one down enough, at least to give some context behind these predictions. Frost, throwing to you first. Are you behind the Whale and Legacy, or do you think maybe Abyss can rise to the occasion?
Like I said, I think the meta actually really helps out Legacy here, and I don't think they're as punished by losing Tally. It will be curious. I definitely think that Minky is going to be a step down in terms of like the full power Legacy having their primary lineup. But the fact is Minky's known as a really good team fighter. Facilitating top laners are in right now. I think they can cover him with Echo and the likes of Maokai. And the support position has moved more towards range supports and facilitating like that more reserved supportive style as to being that all-in engage. So it helps protect Kuden. So I'm going to go with Legacy on this one, despite the swap.
Are you going 2-0?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Spooks. Thoughts?
Yeah, despite I think that, okay, this is like a good opportunity for Abyss to maybe take a game off one of the better, or in my opinion, OPL teams. But I can't see them winning the series. I think that Legacy with the experience, and I think they understand the map a lot better than maybe the shot caller T-Gun does on Abyss. So I think that'll carry them through.
There you go, a 2-0 for Legacy. I do want to take this opportunity to reach out. Hope Tally all the best in his recovery. I think he is going to be out for 3 weeks with a wrist injury, but hopefully we get to see one of the young superstars back on Summoner's Rift very soon. However, guys, remember that Legacy are battling for their opportunity to be back in that OPL final in Brisbane. Tickets are available now, so you can get there too. Hop on over to the website and pick those up, as well as if you can't make it to the live event, next best things is being at Hoyts with your mates. Get along there, purchase one of the tickets, but I've kept you here long enough. Legacy versus Abyss are ready to get onto Summoner's Rift for game number 1. So here is Rogie and Rusty to take us there.
Thank you, Spawn. And I'm going to have to agree with the desk on this one. This is Abyss's real opportunity to take it to one of the best OPL teams we've seen in a long time.
Yeah, look, if ever there was a shot that Abyss would have, it's missing the star top laner from Legacy and having Minky there instead, who has not played top lane for an awful long time. In fact, he practiced support for the OPL for one of the earlier weeks instead of what is now Kuden. And now they've got the new support, they've got a sub in that top lane who doesn't play a whole lot. We have to question Legacy's performance, and if King and Choose and Carbon alike can step up to the plate and be the team that Legacy need.
Well, they're definitely going to have to, without that main carry on their roster. But straight away, Abyss Esports might have been watching the last game. They banned away that Twitch.
Yeah, take it from King. Most importantly, he is a strong Twitch player. Raid may be limited in his champion pool. We'll see how this one progresses. You know that he defaulted to Vayne last time around, and that's a big risk.
Yeah. It's better than the Corki default, I guess.
Yeah.
Debatable?
No, it is.
Looks like Nidalee will get taken away. No surprises there. We've seen if one champion that is consistently banned, it is the Nidalee.
Yeah, absolutely. Nidalee has to be taken off the board. Away from Seb as well. Quite a strong Nidalee player, as is Carbon, though. So on the red side, Legacy decide that they are the ones who want that Nidalee ban. The question always goes over to the opposite side, and is there a Kindred to follow? The Rise is usually a must ban on the red side also.
So Minky Whale must have some Trundle in his back pocket, or else they wouldn't be banning it away from the sub top laner here. So maybe they've done their research, or maybe they just think that Trundle is bad against what they're planning to bring out.
Yeah, perhaps they've done that research, because Pac-Man had the first pick and he's a Trundle player. That's a very confusing decision on the side of Abyss.
There's another top laner out of the mix. That is going to be Echo taken away. So looking forward to seeing how these guys go through with the last remaining bans here. Hard to ban away a player that you don't really know much about in Minky Way.
Yeah, and word on the street is that he plays Talia.
Oh.
And he plays Aurelia. And he plays Hecarim. And the point I'm making is he doesn't play the standard tanks. But what we do know from Minky is that historically he's entirely capable of doing it.
Yep.
And this is only information from solo queue, to be fair. And it's all the information that one can get on Minky Whale before his first competition.
I guess the last games as Jana don't really do too much in terms of research, but the final ban for Abyss Esports is going to be the Soraka respect ban to Kuden. Probably the only time you'll see a Soraka ban.
And a necessity of ban against Kuden, most importantly, because King plays hyper aggressively and can get away with it when there is a Soraka to keep him alive. And it brings up the question of what will Kuden play instead. Usually defaults to the Braum when Soraka or someone of the likes is not there.
Makes sense. See the Kindred being the last and final ban here for Legacy, so it is up to Abyss Esports to lock in that first pick, their highest priority champion here, and it could potentially be the Rise.
Yeah, and we said red side usually bans the Rise, and that's exactly why. There is still going to be a Swain, Vladimir as options. We haven't seen Vlad picked in the OPL just yet, as it had prevalence in the LCS. We'll see if people can start adapting to this, as all of these target bans have left open a lot.
Oh yeah, Lucian and the Rek'Sai get picked up instantly. So not a second's doubt in who they want King to play in this game.
And I like the Rek'Sai early rotation, but the fact that they got a Lucian with it is
that's insane.
Amazing. So King's going to be quite happy having the very mobile, low-range, spell-weaving AD carry.
First time he's played something other than Ezreal, if I'm not mistaken. So that graphic gets a little bit more detailed now.
Perhaps it does. Yeah, there's a bit more work in actually creating that one. You can't just copy-paste.
That's it.
We'll say, though, on the flip side, remembering that we just touched on Swain being up on the board and might want to be locked in by Abyss. We'll see how deep they go, though. We know Luch is a Rise player. so Pac-Man can pick whatever he'd like for the top lane. I would honestly say Maokai, arguably a better option. But Swain's just so strong.
Still 10 seconds left for them to make up their mind. Looks like they will be going for that Ezreal Elise. So when the Lucian's taken, the no-brainer is pick yourself up that Ezreal and Elise. Still a fearsome jungle might to behold.
Yeah, but they also picked the same 2 roles that Legacy had locked in. And so what they are doing is not revealing their hand as a draft, but giving the possibility to Legacy to pick the strongest champions in their respective roles that they would like and still have the counter pick as their last option. And just look for mid lane. Last pick your mid lane. Go for whatever Minky wants in the top lane, perhaps reveal that one early.
Yep.
Or they could go for their mid lane option knowing that Ryze is there, and you would assume it's Luch based off their history.
We'll see if it's one of those wild card picks you mentioned earlier. Might just default to something a little bit more standard, but they are saving that for the last pick, locking in the Azir, followed by the Alistar. So Choo Choo's getting himself that Azir. Got to be feeling good about that one.
The unseen Minky Whale is the deadliest. No idea what he's about to play, but Choo's locking in that Azir is actually quite important, I will say. Strong champion in the meta. Choo's very strong on that champion. Takes it from Luch, though he may still be that Ryze, and sets himself up nicely for Legacy with a team composition that could be quite potent.
The support and top laner left on the side of Abyss. See what they go with here. Raid. Like you said, he goes back to the... Oh, no, he's already got the Ezreal. But the top lane, it'd be interesting what they go with. Still not revealed, so they're going to have to be blind picking that one.
No,
Safe
we mentioned
Maokai.
the Maokai earlier anyway. You
So-
don't know what Minky's going to be. It's a blind pick, so just lock that one in and pick whatever you'd prefer in the support role. I do rate Karma quite highly, however.
We'll see as it gets locked in here. T-Gun on the Karma allows that Ryze and the Maokai to bridge the gap, and the insta-lock Talia, Rusty.
Yep. Meant to be a surprise, but the limited research that you could spend if you ever watched Minky Whale's stream as well, it's all the damn plays. Like, guy needs to calm down on that Talia hype train. He thinks it's strong. Absolutely has been performing well on it. So we'll see if he can translate that skill to competitive.
Now I'm really excited.
That is going to be a tough thing to do for Minky Whale. Subbing into the top role, up against Pac-Man on a Maokai, quite good at diffusing lanes.
Yep.
But definitely a strong champion in her own right, and we'll see how it goes.
Does Maokai get hit by all the mines when he twisted advances
He
over
should
them?
be untargetable, so no.
Okay, cool. Interesting interactions. Only procking if someone dashes or anything of the sort gets
Honestly,
thrown over
the
them.
only thing is Seb's Q on that entire team.
Yeah,
That'll
that's a great
actually
point.
proc it. But you can knock them into it, do more damage. It's more of a zoning tool as well. I'm most curious, and the thing that excites me the most about this team composition is the fact that it's an Azir and a Talia in
Yeah.
the exact same comp. So think about the walls
double
that they can
walls.
actually present. Yeah, one wall in the back end, you've got Talia to flank them off, and Azir throws the wall at the front and just kind of close in on them until they have this
I hope we
limited
see
line
that.
to
I
walk
hope
through.
we see
Yeah,
that.
that'd be
That's going to
perfect.
be a lot of fun to see. Or you can just, like, if they're coming in, bounce them over the wall just to keep your team safe. But
also
remember,
possible.
guys, to get on Twitter, hashtag AE win for Abyss or hashtag LGC win for Legacy here. If you want to see that Talia Minky Whale going off on her, make sure to get on Twitter and make your presence known, because I'm very excited.
That's right. The odds are stacked against Legacy, you would have to imagine. Substitute top laner who does not play a whole lot of top lane. Now playing against the full roster of Abyss, but they've also changed their AD carry.
That is true.
So we need to work out how things pan out as we surf onto the Rift.
There she is, surfing in, getting that bonus movement speed whenever she's near terrain. So, very cool skill. I like that.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Very well-designed champion. Same designer as Azir.
There you go. Is it the wall that gives it away?
No. That's his Twitter account. They kind of made that one obvious.
Taking that Thunderlord, should be able to proc that with the Qs quite easily.
Yeah, and the Storm Raider Surge as well on the Rise in the middle lane.
Ah.
The option of choice.
They got a lot of movement speed.
Absolutely. Rise presses ultimate. Hasn't gone for the Ghost this time around. Most Rises that we did see were, or Victors were opting towards that Ghost. We've got a teleport. And that teleport is against the Exhaust, which, again, against a Rise, Exhaust is a necessity.
Oh, yeah.
Simply because of the damage that he can output and keep yourself healthy and happy.
That's exactly right here. So, interesting to see how they start this one. Looks like they're poised for a lane swap here. And I can't say I know how well Talia does in a lane swap.
She's
So,
ranged.
that is
would be
true.
nice. I mean,
If you max the mines first, shouldn't be too difficult.
but like realistically, the concept of this lane swap is that Minky's just going to try and get the 3 minions, maybe the whole wave, depending on how quick he can clear them. You can see he's probably going to push ahead of the wave if he can. Do some damage, and then maybe teleport towards that top lane, something we saw from most of the LCSs. Here comes the pressure.
Looks like Seb and Pac-Man are able to secure themselves the big wolf. Kuden and King not going to get too much out of this. Just a little bit of pressure and 2 young wolves for their trouble.
Minky tried.
Yeah, already taking a little bit of hurt. Not able to get a single minion, unfortunately.
Yeah, but they still killed 3 of them, I believe, whether he did or not. So whilst he got zoned away, he's still pressuring. And the idea behind this is keep them busy, maybe slow down their push, maybe make it awkward, because you can start putting damage onto the minions, the melee ones specifically, and then try and teleport to that top lane. But we'll see if he actually executes on that. It seems like that's the only reason he would overstay his welcome here.
It's a little bit difficult for him to farm if they don't allow him much breathing room. Once that worked ground starts appearing everywhere, he's only going to have 1 proc of his Q. The spell, a little bit of difficulty, especially last hitting a big wave under tower. So already backing off from that tower.
Also, Pac-Man getting 1 CS whilst double jungling with his partner in crime. Just slow movement here. Minky's definitely being resilient in this. He's about to get dove if he doesn't teleport now, however.
He's got a lot of movement speed. Should he try and get out of that one? No way to stop the teleport, just a little bit of damage coming out of T-Gun. So Minky Whale tried his best. Did get up to that top lane to help with the push.
No, that was, honestly, all things considered, he didn't get as much farm as he would have liked, but it was pretty clean from Minky Whale. And we are tunneling on what he's doing, but that's because he's not meant to be doing it or executing too well at all. This is actually very much an LCS thing that we saw. King and Kuden set the wave up nicely also. They're going to get the turret quickly. Doesn't mean that Abyss will be slow by any means. Just lost a couple of minions here and there. They're going to be slower though.
Both junglers going off to their own devices while letting their laners push to their hearts galore here. No solo gold for either of the top laners. Actually, Pac-Man going to get donated that.
Might die. Won't die, might.
He got very lucky that T-Gun is playing a champion with a shield so that Ray didn't have to burn the heal off that one.
And he's not actually going to be able to get all these minions either. He has to let the ranged minions battle. Not even sure he's going to get the turret.
That's right, he doesn't even have a Q at this stage. Oh no, this is heartbreaking.
He's actually, oh
he's
my
going
god,
for
here
it.
we go.
Go Pac-Man!
Pac-Man!
Oh!
Oh, that was close. That was too close.
Yeah, that was reminiscent of Carbon ulting himself in the Rift Herald pit.
That was like the game-defining moment for Abyss, because if that turret didn't fall, that was just game over. They would have tilted Pac-Man off the face of the earth. Legacy are going to be well and truly quicker, however, as Kuden was actually trying to get a flank for a potential kill.
Talia, a great amount of wave clear in her kit, so shouldn't be too difficult to assist King getting all of those. Waiting, of course, till they get low enough to maybe get a few minions.
But they're just so far ahead.
Yeah.
T-Gun actually here for no particular reason. Looks like they want to swap back to standard lanes, but he's here so quicker. They're so much quicker than that of Raid. That this tower is going to take a lot of damage. They're actually going to get zoned away from it until Seb arrives anyway. Not the best case scenario.
Carbon with a very early Sightstone here.
Yep.
Going to give his team the vision they need to pull off these ballsy plays.
Look how zoned they are as well. Seb needs to be here, and so it's going to be predictable attention draw.
Oh no, he does get stunned up, so Kuden not going to be able to get that. A double knock-up coming out of Minky Whale, but here is Pac-Man looking to make the play. Raid gets smashed by those mines. Pac-Man around the right side. He's level 3 now, so has more than just a sapling available. The stun does land on Kuden. They have no vision though.
Yeah, Kuden looks like he can walk this one out safely. Legacy seemingly getting out. King needs to show a little bit of respect. Nope, everything's good in the neighborhood of Abyss because they pushed them off.
As they hold the tower, push off the aggressive Legacy squad.
That took a lot of effort though.
Oh yeah.
And that effort is honestly going to be responded to by Minky being top and no teleport available for Pac-Man. So you're going to see the potential for this Maokai to fall really far behind. And the 2v2 that stems in the bottom lane now has no turret, so you're not exactly safe if you're King and Kuden. But the damage has been done to that turret. if it comes down to it and a push comes out of Abyss, they can freeze it. There is still a lot of positives to this movement. But still, I'm impressed that Abyss actually managed to pull that back.
Well, Abyss acknowledging where Legacy are weak. We saw Seb making his way down, gonna think the better of it. Does go for the recall. So back to standard lanes here. Of course, one tower apiece from either team. A lot of damage dealt to that bottom one.
Kuden's probably going to try and get a flash pulverized. You would imagine, based off the enemy's positioning, going to be on T-Gun. Raid's always going to be the primary target. The Carbon, level 5. He's ready to go, and he's been waiting for an awful long time.
Here comes Carbon. There's the flash. Raid in a lot of trouble. Just gets knocked up, destroyed. First blood going over to Carbon.
And you know what? That was so well done from Kuden and Carbon, just off timing alone.
That was impressive.
Raid didn't flash, so he couldn't get himself out to safety, but the knock-up combo between them was enough. Probably going to break this turret.
Yep, they did the damage first off, and now they're coming in for the kill. Going to be sharing that gold amongst the 3 of them.
They call you a 2v2 and they raise you a third. Very impressively done. And Kuden with the flash pulverize was absolutely highlight reel worthy, because it was at the exact same time as the Essence shift out of the Ezreal. Just looked seamless.
Yeah, very well
I
played.
think he's now mid laner.
Just Talia things, mate. We see Luch doing what he can to keep his farm well and high. One of his defining factors as a mid laner here. Dragon being started by Carbon. 4 members actually of Legacy.
Yeah, and an Ocean Drake's a very valuable early Drake to be taken. The mana sustain for carries.
Oh, look at Luch. He wants to go in here. Choose in a lot of trouble. Forced to ultimate, forced to flash. The Cocoon goes wide. Luch trying to get in there. Oh, Tegan narrowly
got him.
misses it, but Luch snipes it with the Q for a kill of his own.
They just pick up the back end kill onto Choose. Didn't get far, but they absolutely just nipped him in the butt. Secure a kill back on the board. You need to stop yelling, Minkuel. It's not that exciting. Your teammate just died.
Yep.
And he's now a mid laner again. You can tell that he's not exactly a competitive top laner at the moment. Still, great champion.
Yeah. I really like her design. Hoping we see her a lot more once our teams start to pick her up. Really want to see how well he can impact the game with those ultimates.
Still, Maokai's actually getting pretty far ahead. So Pac-Man got that freeze, going to be putting in a lot of work. King's even responded to the top side of the map, potentially instead of the Talia, which is good for Legacy because they're getting money onto their primary carry option out of the team. But also bad because they're now going to have a potentially big advantage for the Maokai. Thankfully for Minky, Choose died. And he still got farm. That could have been a lot worse. Doesn't mean it's good for Choose, however.
Oh, no, Kuden gets the knock-up onto Pac-Man, who's in full amount of trouble as King flashes in for another kill.
Yeah, King getting that kill. Very well executed once again. Kuden, Carbon, and King working pretty much as a dynamic trio to put Legacy ahead on this board. Small advantages, honestly, but a big impact being established by Carbon and nothing really being gained by Seb at all. Not something we expected in this series.
10 minutes in the game, 2-1 kills in favor of Legacy. Of course, they have that extra tower as well after a very nice first blood onto Raid. Gold about 1,000 in front, which is nice for this time of game. So Legacy doing well with the advantage they've got.
Yeah, they definitely are. And one thing to note is how early Carbon got that Sightstone that you discussed earlier. Being able to do that effectively because a single Hunter's Talisman or Machete gives you full experience on camp kills makes life pretty good for a Rek'Sai. One of the few jungle champions that actually wants to have a Sightstone early. Very cute stuff here. Very much a competitive, relevant item build. And now can flesh his items out as he's gotten these kills.
Looks like this Rift Herald. Who are you going to give it to here? Carbon, I guess.
Yeah.
Back in the old days of Rift Herald where the jungle would take that one away. Rek'Sai's a good champion to have split pushing, always has that ultimate available should the team fight arises, so not the worst jungler to get it on.
He's also a capable duelist, so the bonus damage is nice. The damage reduction is nice. It's not a must-have by any means, but it's a nice-to-have. There was nothing really else on the map to take on the side of Legacy. Just resetting that bottom wave, pushing in that top wave. and not dying in that mid lane.
Not to mention that Minky was quite far away. Would have just wasted time for them. So, doing well. Caught back up in CS, actually ahead of Pac-Man right now, despite Pac-Man having a great freeze earlier on.
Yeah. And as the standard lanes start to flesh out, very curious series of events will have to take place for Legacy in particular, because King has nowhere to go. As Ezreal has a freeze on the top side.
Carbon doing a great job of showing presence right now. Seb is there in the wings to answer. King, though, looking good. He's got himself his Ghost Blade. Much stronger than Raid currently. He's only got a pickaxe and a Dorrance to his name in terms of damage. Of course, a Stinger has been built for Choose, making his way to the Nash's Tooth, the classic Azir build. And, of course, Luch got his tier stacking, got his Roa stacking. Just Rise things.
Luch is huge, so this Rise is always going to be a menace as the game progresses. We've got the Elise for picks, Maokai for picks.
Oh, here comes the wall, blocking them off. That's 3 members completely without an escape. Seb going to be the focus. No skill shots landing, though.
That was really unlucky. The wall was good from the Talia, but the rest of it wasn't there. All of the skill shots actually missing, so the Pulverize, Knockup's not really connecting.
James Hughes wasn't there.
Abyss, yeah, that Abyss get out, best case scenario.
A wall right there on the way to mid lane would have been beautiful.
Of course, he wasn't there because he was forced back from Luch pooping on him.
Yep, that's just what Rise is going to do. Every single time the ultimate is up, he should be looking to trade.
And Carbon's also to put no attention there.
Yeah.
You would imagine the Rise into Azir matchup is not favorable given the exhaust that's forced out of you. The fact that Carbon's been looking to get King and Kuden going means that sooner or later he'll have to try and help.
Yeah, look at the position that Luch is on the map, and still Carbon looks to go bot lane.
He's trying to put lanes that are ahead further ahead. He doesn't want to help the lane that is not having a great time, and that's definitely a decision that you can make.
Yeah.
Not that Choose is doing too
Luch is going in. Choose might be in a bit of trouble. The exhaust has already been burnt, but with no vision in the river, Luch going to have to retreat out of that one.
Yeah, Luch has to be careful from positioning of the Azir. It doesn't mean that he's going to be losing this lane. He's absolutely still in control. That Rod of Ages picked up. Trading that Luch has is now way too efficient on the Rise against this Azir. And a burnt summoner spell is actually just disaster for laning phase.
Yeah, the ultimate is already back off cooldown. Choose really feeling the pressure.
It's one of my biggest gripes with all of the Bruiser AP mages as well. Like Swain ultimate 10-second cooldown.
Yeah.
Vladimir just constantly has his spells up and never dies because he can play Spirit Visage. And you've got Rise, you can get a Rod of Ages. Always has his ultimate available. Just increase their cooldowns.
It's a fair point to make. Maybe sometime in the future we will be seeing that when they get a little bit more popular, I imagine.
More popular? They're busted. If Flag gets more popular, I'm not going to be a big fan.
It's a good point to make. I haven't been playing too much Dynamic Q right now, so I haven't actually been privy to the Vladimir.
Vlad's gross. You wait.
I haven't actually versed one yet.
Yeah, you wait.
Looks like good positioning out of Legacy here. Choose the soldiers. Really keeping them at bay. There is the wall. Cutting them off. Kuden, though, gets shut down. Pac-Man in the back there as Luch flashing over a bad flash. The Emperor's Divide not doing enough to keep them at bay.
They forced them off. The Talia ult was actually quite good. The follow-up on the rest of the map wasn't there. Luch is still too strong. Raid was still able to poke with T-Gun, and Pac-Man and Seb weren't going to die anytime soon. And so whilst they try and make a valiant attempt at defending that, Abyss still get themselves the Drake.
It's going to be the Infernal Drake as well. Great for a Rise who just wants to keep getting stronger and stronger. And look at Luke just going all in here. Getting the damage down. No summoners available for him just yet. Had used the flash and teleport in the earlier Dragon fight.
But we said this before, an even trade is still a favorable trade for the Rise.
Yeah.
Generally speaking, given that Rod of Ages is there, and because they both had the blue buffs. But Choose is actually in a comfortable position now in this middle lane. Acknowledging that there's no flash available for Rise and Elise makes life easier for the Azir as he progresses. Also contesting literally everything.
Here comes the teleport. Really want to make a play here. Minky is in. Puts down the mines, but there is Blue. Gets knocked on top of them. Carbon with the knock-up. Pac-Man now in a world of hurt. Kuden trying to beat the main tank his team needs. That's going to be 1 for 0 so far, but Kuden is low. Can Ray get it? He gets in, gets the kill into Kuden.
Yeah, impressive kill. Looks like Abyss are going to be done, but the pressure's still there. They just have to get over the wall. Everything resets. Teleport forced out of Minky, but the kill there on the Rise shows that he's not invincible, though his damage is unreasonable. They just need to execute properly.
Yeah. Focus him down, and Minky, he's got himself a lot of books right now, eventually turning them into one big book, the Morellonomicon, of course. So getting some of that damage, always good for those AP-esque bruises.
You have to remember Choose also having his ult available.
I still want to see them combo it together. Minky Whale's ult is quite a long cooldown as well.
Look, as much as we all want it, I'm also dreaming for it.
Carbon, he gets cocooned up here, and he's going to get destroyed as Raid, Seb, and T-Gun take him out.
Yeah, a bit deep there, Carbon. The blue buff fight that took place a minute earlier kind of had a predisposed amount of vision available to Abyss, so bites off more than he can chew simply by being on that side of the map, trying to keep King happy, I suppose. Not what he wanted to be doing. Luch also having not the teleport available, but the teleport means that this lane is a place where he's absolutely capable of being in, and the amount of damage that he will do to Italia will kill him pretty much in a combo.
Yeah, Miguel really has to be safe and respect the damage output from Rise, whereas Choo Choo's like, hey, it's your problem now. I'm just going to stay mid and farm. I don't want to deal with this bloody Rise.
Well, the question's who deals with Choose then?
Yeah.
They put Rise in the bottom lane. They put Maokai in the opposite lane. If they send the Ezreal, Karma, and Elise to deal with the Azir mid, I feel like there's a lot of empowerment available to the Lucian against the Maokai.
Good rotate out of Legacy. They're making their way for this mid tower. No one in position from Abyss to stop it just yet. Kuden making sure they get this one. Takes a lot of damage for his troubles. Tower does go down from Choose, keeping him safe.
Yeah, early Merc Tread's actually purchased by 2 members of Legacy. Given all the crowd control that is available, the Maokai, the Elise, even the Rise, it's actually one of the core items against the Rise is the Mercury Treads. Very early smart pickups and quick rotations around the map is the only thing keeping Legacy well and truly in this. I still think this same concern is going to be present of scaling the fact that a Rise is on one of these teams. Yes, Legacy scale well, but Luch is a late game team fighter, and they're giving him this option.
Yeah, he's just staying in that bot lane, making sure to get himself further and further ahead. Currently, the CS leader in the game sitting at 175, 19 minutes in the game. The gold, about 500 in favor of Legacy right now. They do have that 2-tower advantage over Abyss. But Abyss have got themselves that Infernal Dragon, so...
Well, that's the thing, though. Like, a 500 gold amount with a 2-turret advantage means that that gold can well and truly swing.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean they're behind. They are ahead, but they could be, with the following team fight, very behind. And to work things out. That's farm values. Jungle, mid, AD carry, all ahead.
Yep. Minky and Pac-Man just going toe-to-toe in that top lane. A lot of members out of Legacy are over here. I don't think Pac-Man spotted out Carbon. He might be in trouble. No. Carbon just going to
spotted out Elise.
Wave and walk by. Smile and wave, boys. Smile and wave.
Yeah, and Kuden actually needs to get a couple of levels or items in his back pocket because that man is squish. It's all hell.
Oh, here comes Italia. Oh, where is it? Not going to get anyone as T-Gun forced to flash over.
Yeah, good flash from T-Gun, but an even better ultimate from Talia to force that flash in the first place. Remembering that he's maxing out that cooldown reduction. We're quite content with doing that when it's back available one more time.
What a strange new skill these players are forced to play around now.
Yeah, and the question for Abyss is, are they used to it? This is a wildcard pick.
Just trying their darndest to get some more damage on this mid tower. Not going to happen, though. 20 minutes in the game, gold lead. Still in favor of Legacy.
Still mostly for the dragon fight. So keeping the Azir busy in this middle lane, perhaps keeping Minky busy in that top lane, knowing he doesn't have his ultimate. And King dealing with Rise means that he's simply farming when he can. Doesn't mean that he's getting kills. And the second this dragon spawns, Abyss should have enough control of the map to just walk over and get it. Neither team actually has vision on it. So it's all about map control.
See Choo-Choo's, he's got finally finished himself that Nash's Tooth, but on the side of Luch, he's got the makings of an Abyssal Scepter, so going to have that magic resistance quite early on. He's just getting stronger and stronger by the minute, where of course, Minky Whale is going to be the second AP carry. Raid though,
Needs to chill out.
just jumped down to about half health. Kuden trying to get a positional advantage here. All members of Legacy are coming through. T-Gun, he gets him to safety with an unfortunate Emperor's Divide.
Yeah, he didn't want to divide him towards the red buff. He wanted to knock him towards his team. The angle wasn't there. Legacy have started to rush this Mountain Drake down, though. See if they can get it. Yeah, they can.
Pausing the damage to wait for the Mantra Q to stop ticking.
Whoa.
Here comes the teleport in, though. They might want to go into Minky Whale. Pac-Man's just going to straight up dive him with no escape capabilities on the kit of Talia. That's going to be a free kill going over to Pac-Man.
And that was actually very clever from Abyss. They know that the Talia is a squishy champion. Look at Minky Whale's item build.
Yeah.
He does not tank a thing. Teleporting onto a Maokai is fine. Teleporting onto a Maokai and Rise is not.
Oh, the Cocoon does land onto Choose, but Kuden and Carbon making sure to keep him safe. Kuden, even with the ulti, just gets absolutely melted. Here comes the teleport from Pac-Man, looking to make a play. Carbon, he gets sped up, gets taken down. A double kill for Raid, looking to make it a triple onto King. The Q does miss, but so many flashing health bars on the side of Abyss Esports.
And Abyss is super low, but they actually all get out. They've got themselves a gold lead. They've got the kill lead, and that's with a turret deficit. They are going to continue to snowball and scale, and you have to be concerned for a Legacy fan. They can actually continue the rest of this game number one out. It's going to take a lot of effort from their two big carries choosing King. They need to step up huge.
Minky Whale back in that top lane. Had to go answer Luch. Luch not going to do anything about that though, just back on through. He's got a lot of gold in his back pocket. Should be able to pick up the Abyssal Scepter very soon. Finishes off the Ceres Embrace outright.
You have to question Minky's item build too. I understand that that's probably the best Talia build, but why not just go Abyssal Scepter?
Yeah. A lot of AP on the side of
Even the
Abyss.
same thing for the middle lane. Choose probably could have afforded that. But he needs that Rylai's, that's fair. We'll see what item he goes for next though. Probably the Zonies, honestly.
Sure. Here comes Minky Whale ulting through, not going to hit anyone just yet, blocking them a little
Good
bit. But
damage.
there is the Emperor's Divide. T-Gun's going to fall, followed by Raid. Now Seb, the next one getting taken out as a double kill for Minky and a kill for Choose.
And that's exactly the double wall combo
Yep.
that we said Legacy are capable of doing. They execute on it. Minky can engage from very large distances. And now at 24 minutes into this game, they're threatening the Baron.
Wow, what an amazing setup there from the two walled players here. Minky and Choose doing just that, but the Baron has been sighted. The sapling being used for vision alone. Three members going to
Pac-Man
try
and Luch.
and win this one. Luch and Pac-Man doing what they can, but Luch, he's been knocked up. He's been taken out. One more attack should do it now. It's all on Pac-Man. How long can he stay alive for? Minky is dead, but it's not going to matter because King and Choose are still alive. They turn their attention back onto the Baron because Kuden was keeping it aggro the whole time.
Yeah, Kuden not going to
the ulti
die.
gets a double. The Baron so close, but here comes T-Gun looking for that mantra.
Choose? No, Choose made a mistake.
Choose. He's trying
They
to get
don't
out
go.
of this one. T-Gun, what are you going to do? Are you going to queue over the wall? He's got his sights set onto Choose. He flashes over. He gets the tether. It should be enough. One more queue should do it. There is T-Gun. Ladies and gentlemen, taking out Choo-Choos.
Choo-Choo's made a big mistake. Legacy have still got the Baron buff, but it is onto one member of their team. We get to see how that True Shot Barrage almost gets 3 kills, to be honest with you. King dying was huge.
Nearly got the Baron too.
Choose was like, oh, I'm out. No, I'm not out. I'm now in. And I think Karma did this blind.
Yep.
Yeah. Places a ward afterwards. Very impressive from T-Gun. Gets that kill. And guess what? That Baron buff amounts to nothing at the moment. Unless Carbon can stick with his team and actually secure some kind of map control, some kind of objective, whether it's turret. There is no Drake to take. They need something.
Look, we mentioned earlier on, the analysts mirrored that sentiment that this is Abyss's chance to take out a team such as Legacy, who are one of the favorites for that #1 spot in the OPL. And a loss here could be really detrimental to that placing.
Yeah, potentially. And remember that Minky's going to be on this team for multiple weeks.
That's true.
Abyss really do want to stamp their foot on the OPL, show they have what it takes. This is a great series to do it, at least the first game. Remember remember that Luch might be 1, 2, and 5, but that man does so much damage and has a GA to boot.
Oh, wow.
Pac-Man, he's not far off his third item. You would hope he gets a GA as well afterwards. They can just play the unkillable team comp. Raid's huge.
Yep, in the mid lane, Raid just doing what he can. 3 items to his name. Blade of the Ruined King just finished off. Where King, he's got those 2 power spike items, but I think Raid's overtaken him at this stage. 6-2-1 Ezreal.
Yeah.
He's playing phenomenal in this game.
You would imagine that he has taken over, but this is that point where we come back to it and say the carries of Legacy, they still have a big job to do. And whilst they're now up against a massive enemy team, the gold lead is not too much. Dragon still seems to be a point of contention. Legacy already have 1 mountain, and the second is up in 45. Abyss have tools now to try and get this first game victory. They're actually just stuck at the moment.
There's the wall blocking off the escape, but the tower should fall. Will the teleport get through in time? Pac-Man is there. They've got their attention set onto Carbon. Kuban doing what he can in the midst of the fight. The Talia damage on the back end of that one, forcing the flash out of Pac-Man. The Emperor's Divide keeping them from making anything more happen out of this one. And Abyss, they are strong, but Legacy are finding chinks in the armor.
It's still a cool team composition out of Legacy once again. They have a lot of damage. They have a lot of control with these double walls. The end result is a turret. They are looking for the dragon primarily. We'll see if they can secure this one, because Abyss have made a commitment towards the top side of the map.
Teleport and Carbon there to ensure that Luch cannot get away with taking that tower for free. The dragon should fall here. T-Gun though.
This is going to be contested now. They don't have Carbon.
Where is Ray? They want to get for it. It's going to be Choo-Choo securing that one, but it looks like Kuden will fall. A couple more auto attacks should do it. There is the ultimate coming through. But Carbon, he's made his way back in, looking for the knockups. Not going to find it. Luch takes out Minky Whale. King, the next one that's going to fall. They've got their sight set onto Choo-Choo's. It's Seb going in. One more Q should do it. Not going to get it, but it's not going to matter because Raid and Pac-Man clean it up.
Choose gives his best effort, honestly, to get them something. They do get that Drake because, once again, Choose with his best effort secures that somehow as well. But Abyss, they still win the team fight. They still get the kills. And they're looking commanding. As we get to see exactly why Minky Whale should not be playing Talia against the Rise. He's destined to die. Overstayed his welcome because Carbon had to get to the Dragon. Honestly, just a big mistake across the board. That teleport, not necessary.
Only Kuden alive to watch his tower go down to the likes of Abyss. This Rise is huge. Currently 225, but do not be deceived as Minky Whale was. He can blow you up.
Like, he's got 290 farm at 29 minutes.
That's Luch.
Still on the clock. And it doesn't mean that because he's got a 7-280 carry on his side that he's weak by any means. Luch is always going to be strong, and he's actually getting towards that late game team fighting. He is a very good late game team fighter.
One of the most efficient players I've ever seen. I've never seen him ever fall behind in terms of CS. Always beating either on par or beating the clock. So doing a great job of showing us this game that even against some of the best players in the entire of Oceania.
On some of the subs that don't play as well, that he's absolutely capable of beating them. It's just a very smart strategy overall from Abyss. Just because he's a sub doesn't mean you take it easy on him. It means you take it harder on him. Give him a hard time.
That's exactly right.
Camp him. Split push against him as a capable mid laner. Outscale him. Force him to make bad decisions. And see how the team of Legacy respond, because Carbon was not looking at him at all. Carbon was looking at the King's Kuden lane.
He had his sights set on that bot lane to make sure that he could
Legacy
get
need
them
a
ahead.
recall.
Yeah, there's big push coming down that mid lane. Choo-Choo's doing what he can. There is the farm alarm coming out of Rek'Sai. She's going to be on the back end of that one. Pac-Man, he's gone in. Look at the damage onto Choo-Choo's. The ulti should be enough to take him out, and Raid makes Choo-Choo's pay for being out of position.
Yeah, bites off way more than he can chew. Maokai is always going to get on top of you. This is now a dangerous fight for them to commit towards.
Well, the wall trying to keep them away from this one. Pac-Man, though, he's in. He's so damn tanky. Gets his ult off in time before any of the real damage comes out. Might turn it back on to Carbon. Is able to tunnel away just in time. The snare does get landed, but Kuden got the ultimate available. Minky trying to keep them at bay with those mines. They didn't
But look at bottom.
much damage of Luch.
They're just breaking the base everywhere because Choose is the big carry of the team and overstays his welcome. Abyss make him pay for it. This is looking like it's potentially going to be a Game 1 victory to Abyss, as they're breaking that base.
This is very impressive work out of them. They know what Legacy's weaknesses are and are just seamlessly exploiting them.
Oh, absolutely.
14 seconds on that Baron. It was taken a little bit earlier by Legacy, but due to a great ultimate from Raid, they weren't able to do anything with it. Luke securing him, or stealing away that blue buff to boot.
I still just don't know why they gave him Rise, firstly. All these target bans on the board. And they decided that they wanted the Azir over that Rise, and that's fine. But giving the Rise to Luch, who has shown that he can play it successfully, not ideal.
It's a risky play, but here comes Pac-Man. He's caught out Minky Whale, who's not long for this world. Once Raid starts getting the damage down, the Q's doing so much. The Sun Disc has been planted well and firmly in the mid lane.
And this is a series of moments where if Choose doesn't get a clutch engage, they're not going to win the game.
Pac-Man looking for that teleport. Here comes Luch. Not going to find anything.
Baron's actually just being started. They want this straight away. No way.
This is risky play. This is a risky play.
No
wall
way.
Trying to block off as many as they can. Luke on the other side of that one doesn't have the flash available. Trying his best to get in there. Carbon actually gets the Baron for himself, but here comes Pac-Man. He's onto King. Where is the damage? King, he's getting taken a look. He's still alive. The heal keeping him at bay. Does able to take out Seb. There is Minky on the back. The mines are there. King does get taken down. A double kill for Raid, looking for more T-Gun. He finds himself in front of Carbon. Doesn't want to fake that
from
take,
the Rise.
but there it is, Rise. He's going for that bot lane inhibitor.
And Choose has been stopped. He's probably dead.
Oh, here comes Raid 1 each.
Oh!
Whoa! Where did that come from? Complete and utter domination out of Minky Whale.
Still, they stop the recalls. Minky puts in a lot of damage with Choose, but they lose the inhibitor. I guess. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. And Abyss. They lose the Baron, but they still get control of this map. That's 2 inhibitors gone. The third one's bare. Whew. To be taken. And this game could still turn on a dime to either team. But as of this moment, Abyss are the favorites.
Yeah, they've got to be feeling good about going with Raid here tonight. He's playing phenomenally on this Ezreal, enabled all the time by T-Gun, who can give him that extra bit of safety with the shield and the movement speed. But very reminiscent of how Lost likes to play him. Aggressive arcane shifts, but very calculated.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the Raid has been mechanically performing quite well in this first game. Oh. Even T-Gun's been backing him up quite well. And Abyss, they feel comfortable at the 33-minute mark. The next Drake, actually very important.
Let's see how Legacy answer. They've got 2 inhibitors down, so they can't afford to spend too much time sitting around here. Chuju does get cocooned up. Nothing going to come of it just yet.
Carbon's a super tank, and Kuden's got that level 11 mark.
Ooh.
So there is still strength to the Legacy team. The Baron empowers them to be stronger also with stats.
The double wall's available. There it is. It is going to be locking off the damage dealers, Seb and Ray. They've got their sights set onto Tigo, who gets out of that. Luch flashes over the wall. Kuden now in a world of hurt. Pac-Man, he's going to go down. The wall should be enough. He's still alive somehow. There is a kill for Choo-Choo's looking to answer back. There is Ray. He gets exhausted. He's going so low, but it's not going to matter. He gets thrown into Choo-Choo's, gifted even. Choo-Choo's picks that one up, dies for the process, but Luchi's got his sights set onto Minky, and there is no escape for the poor little Talia.
Nope, but he can try his best.
Yep, and try he might.
This is a dangerous position right now. Abyss might actually have enough time on the board to end the game.
20 seconds on Kuden.
That's right, 20 on Kuden. You can see T-Gun's just immediately pinged it, wants to push in. They've got the minions. This does look like game number 1 is going to go over to Abyss.
We mentioned that this is Abyss's chance to take it to Legacy, but in what a dominating fashion.
With a 5k gold difference between them as well.
Yeah.
This is the loot show. This is the rise that you probably should not be giving this man. And they take down Legacy.
Well, I highly doubt we'll see it again in game number 2 if, of course, Legacy want to win that game.
No,
but really impressing the heck out of me with that rise.
And Abyss looked good, but you have to say, Legacy do not look the same with Minky in that top lane.
All right, we're going to send it back to the desk to tell us a little bit more about that game.
Thanks so much, Rogi. And we actually thought Minky looked quite good. I want to break down this game. First off, Abyss got pretty much the ideal composition. I mean, they have Maokai, they have Ryze, they have Seb's best champion on that Elise as well. That was just pretty much a free draft for Abyss.
No, yeah, 100% agree. No one's going to debate there. You look at that composition at a glance, you're like, wow, Abyss completely outdrafted Legacy. But
I was just going to comment on the double wall column. I thought it was quite cute, actually, when they caught them at the Wraiths. I thought that was like a nice little engage, but once you get, the Rise and the Maokai and you get the flank off, Azir can't really do anything. It just gets exploded.
Yeah, so let's actually talk about this, Tali, because I want to start at the start of the game and actually the lane swap that they went through, because I thought the lane swap from Minky was actually quite cute. He stuck around in the bottom lane and got extra experience and had to burn the teleport, but gets himself ahead in that.
yeah, Legacy lane swapped really well. Their tower aggro juggling, when they placed their wards deep down the lane, they got a huge advantage on their Talia, and she actually was doing a lot of damage.
Yeah, and so let's actually have a look at how the composition works. So we're going to pull up the first replay for you here. This is what you were talking about. So as we have a look, the long-range engage that can come out of Talia is phenomenal, Spooks.
Yeah, it was like there's nowhere for Abyss to go here. They
That
just
is
get
so cool.
locked into the choke. And wow, they just get shredded down. It's actually a really nice comp. I haven't seen Talia in action before.
That is so cool. Like this composition. So the thing is people will look at Talia and be like, oh, she was the problem. They didn't have a tank top laner, but they were supplementing their tankiness and their initiation. We talked about how Kuden is like mostly a range support. Well, there's a reason why he's playing Alistar in this composition. It's because they needed to compensate for having Talia up there. Likewise, taking the Rek'Sai and prioritizing a tanky jungler. And so when you use... that was so cool. No, this composition was awesome.
And that's what I actually want to talk about, because to me, it wasn't necessarily Minky. It was the fact that they had Kuden on a tank that he wasn't used to playing, especially with the Alistar nerfs. You saw time and time again, he was waiting till he was low health to use it. And Carbon, early game, looked fantastic on Rek'Sai, but during team fights, maybe looked a little bit out of sorts.
Yeah, I thought they executed that bot gank really nicely. He timed the Ali pole flash with the Ezreal E. But I think, honestly, the disparity between mid lane, Luch seemed to like kind of walk all over Choo-Choo's, and I thought that was where the biggest disparity was in the lane phase.
All right, we have the last team fight. The reason that it is nice to bring it up there, because Frost, this is one of those team fights where Luch just kind of walked all over a team.
Okay, yeah. So there's also a goal disparity here, but the big thing is that Legacy's target selection is not great. So they do a good job where you initially separate out two members, but their target selection and follow-up, just the fact that King's chasing off to the side, that they're not actually deleting anyone, that all of their spells are going everywhere, and Luch is just going to run in at the back half of this fight, just start bursting everyone because he's a machine gun with his cooldowns, whereas all the major cooldowns for Legacy are done now.
Yeah, so that is going to be Abyss picking up the game. I mean, Luch grabs another kill for himself here. However, I do now want to look over to what Abyss did well, because Luch, young superstar carry, like this guy has a bright, bright future in League of Legends, and then Raid, the new AD carry that they bring in and swap over, also goes off on Ezreal against King, which isn't an easy task to do. That's pretty good performances out of two young carries.
Here's the thing, like, I totally agree, Abyss did really well. I just want to kind of like take a conclusion over this thing, because I feel like people will still walk away and be like, oh, Legacy lost this game because of their composition was bad. Their composition was awesome. It came down to execution, and Abyss just executed far better. Props do go to Luch and Raid in particular, because they were so aggressive. They were hitting all their skill shots. But the thing is the execution on Abyss's composition with the pick potential of Rise and Maokai is so much easier to punish Legacy on their small mistakes where they just overstay, and suddenly you've got Twisted Advance, and suddenly you're rooted 6 times, and you just get thrown down. But like that's what it came down to. Execution of the comps, and not one comp being infinitely stronger than the other.
Yeah, I wasn't really sure what I was expecting from Raid, but he did his job. He did a lot of damage. He just like stood at the back line and they just killed back to front, and they played the team fights really well.
Oh, sorry. He's just one of those cool Ezreal players where he uses his arcane shift aggressively. And a lot of time, it's obviously always going to be that thin line of using it aggressively and going into 5 people and immediately blowing up. But Raid is so good at keeping track of the cooldowns, at least in this last game, and making sure that he never put himself in danger, but was maximizing his damage output on that champion. And that's the difference between a good Ezreal and a great Ezreal.
It certainly was. And with that, Abyss were able to win game number 1. However, Legacy are going to look to hit back. Don't go anywhere, guys. In 3.5, we have another game for you just around the corner.